Speak in general terms, please.
Jenny Zantuis, Knott Avenue. I disagree totally with the last two speakers. They've completely exaggerated the whole situation with the idea that there are going to be a lot of changes in Sandwich, and there will not be. So I completely disagree with their rendition of what they're trying to portray. My husband George and I summited in Sandwich for 23 years before building our retirement home in 1993. I wanted to know we enjoy the hustle and the bustle of the coming summer season on Cape Cod. Watching people enjoy the beach, the weddings and the functions at the restaurant across the street, the company that we and our neighbors get, as well as their family barbecues, are all part of our pleasure. While most of our neighbors have been thoughtful, a few families have taken advantage of an outdated bylaw, and they choose to play their radios on deck speakers and boom boxes on a daily basis for hours at a time, with no consideration for their neighbors who are forced to listen to it in their yards as well as in their homes. This is not acceptable. 3 of our neighbors have had as many as 13 wind chimes hanging all last summer. It's been documented. It's not right for neighbors to be subjected to that much tinkling, gonging, and clanging. When living, I resent you making comments.
Ms. Zantuis, through me, please.
Sorry, Madam Moderator. I think the audience is being unfair. It's not right for neighbors to be subjected to that much noise. And when living on small lots, it's imperative for us to be considerate of our neighbors. Unfortunately, a few of our neighbors make all the noise they want because there's no bylaw that says otherwise. All of us have been to the beach where people bring radios and have had to be subjected to someone who plays their radio near you too loud. It takes away from your pleasure and enjoyment. George and I are tolerant to noise. I know what noise and chaos can be like. I taught first and second graders for 40 years. I'm used to activity with a lot going on around me. We did not change this bylaw to personalize our neighborhood. However, our neighbors have made it an issue.
Ms. Zantuis, excuse me, general terms.
We are offended by what they have said. We are thoughtful.
Ms. Zantuis, we need to speak in general terms, not about individuals, but in general, why you're bringing this bylaw forward.
All right. We are thoughtful and considerate neighbors who wish only to enjoy our home. We have been deprived of that pleasure for the last 3 years because of excessive noise. Please, vote yes on this article and help us equip the police with a tool that will protect those of us living on smaller house lots. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion on Article 31?
My name is Joseph Monahan. I live at 27 Carmen Avenue in the Town Neck area where the petitioners live and where all the small lots are. I've been a resident there since 1983, or I've had a residence there. The small lots of 5,000 square feet, yes, 50 by 100. It's a cozy neighborhood, sometimes too cozy, but it's been there since 1955, long before the original bylaw as a small lot. That was the way it was zoned originally. I have an objection to the bylaw in general, but both sides of these parties have made a legitimate point. My point is that the bylaw, as now written, is unenforceable under any legal manner. If you take a quote and manage to look into Wikipedia on sound and current laws, there is only one form of an acceptable bylaw that can be enforced, and that is it must specify a sound level. It cannot be ambiguous and speculative in wording. The bylaw now is speculative and subject to interpretation. For example, noise itself says unwanted noise. Now, some sounds to me, I like to take an example, but now I can't take that one, but birds and the rustle of a tree. Most people don't realize that those sounds are even my breathing in a normal room has a sound of 10 dB, which can be heard by many people. Decibels is the way that you measure sound. I don't want to take a long time to explain it, but the only laws that can be enforced must specify a specific decibel level shall not be exceeded at a lot line. That would help the police a lot from nuisance and harassment calls and not being able to enforce it or satisfy either party. Therefore, I urge that we say no to this amended bylaw. I recommend that the selectmen consider an evaluation of a change of the bylaw that can be enforced and that the police can fill the obligations of all people. Therefore, I recommend a no because this situation only adds more superlative objections and wording that cannot be measured or judged. Therefore, I say vote no to this amendment, and somehow we must move ahead and find an objective means of satisfying a noise bylaw that can be enforced. And if you want, I could take a moment. Now, right now, when we are speaking, with the microphone's age, you're probably all hearing me at about a 40 to 60 dB level. That 40 to 60 dB level will be heard as between 10 and 20 dB at 150 feet, which means that it would probably sound much about like this. You can't really understand what I'm saying. But that's an example of subjective evaluation. We must get a bylaw that has measurable, enforceable levels. Thank you. Vote no.
Thank you. Further discussion on Article 31.